tracking that patrol, Alpha Foxtrot, and 2 of them have disappeared.
Probably some radio disturbance.
Well, I've got one, clear as a bell, but the other 2 are gone.
Let me take a look. There's been some kind of static phenomenon in the area for some time.
Maybe Space Control has some data. Let's switch over.
Space Control, this is the Evening Star. Over.
Evening Star, this is Space Control. Come in.
Are you tracking Patrol Alpha Foxtrot?
Roger. I was about to call you about that. We lost contact with 2 of the craft.
Same here. Thought you might have more information.
Stand by. We're getting through to one of them.
If those guys would learn to stay in formation, they wouldn't always get lost.
Evening Star, this is Space Control. Over.
This is Evening Star. Come in.
That guy seems to have a bad case of vertigo. He makes no sense at all.
Why? What did he say?
He talked about losing the other 2 ships in a rainbow.
A rainbow? That's an unlikely story.
Well, that's what he said. And he claims to have hit water out there. A veritable thunderstorm.
I think I'd better talk with him when he comes in.
Okay, Professor. Let's go.
Scott McCloud, report to position 47. Scott McCloud to position 47.
I know it sounds crazy, but I tell you, I saw it. Water coming at me in solid sheets. Yes, go on. That's all. I hit the water, and when I came out, there was the darndest rainbow.
What about the other 2 ships?
They were right next to me when I hit the water. After that, I never saw them again.
What about radio contact?
I tried. There was nothing.
I don't want to call you a liar, but water? Way out there?
Hey, Skipper, look. Seaweed. I found it stuck to the tail fin. Amazing. We've suspected something like this, but there's never been any proof. Oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine, sodium, magnesium, just plain seawater.
But I don't understand. Out there in space?
The theory is that way back, a huge wave of hydrogen spewed out by the sun hit onto a concentration of oxygen in space and formed H2O, namely water.
And let the waters under the heaven be gathered into one place.
If this checks out the way it looks, we can expect to find a liquid sphere. You mean a kind of an ocean with no land around? In a way, yes. And judging by the composition of this sample, we're likely to find ocean life.
But what could have happened to the other 2 ships?
If they hit solid water at that speed, it would be like a cement wall. What we need is a submarine. Well, not exactly. Such a sphere would generate enough gravity to support an orbit. But we will need a bathysphere of some kind to get inside. Well, Chris, you better break out your bikini.
Sure. And you, your rod and reel.
This is one trip I want to go on, Scott.
Professor, you've got yourself a deal. Of all that water.
Aye, Skipper, pull the plug and drain it on Mars.
We need a name for it.
How about Aqua One?
Aqua One it is.
Aqua One. A wet star is born.
Scott, I think I've got it. Switching to your scope.
That looks like it.
Look at those rainbows.
Chris, give me a reading on the gravity pull.
Roger. The meter reads 179er 4.2.
Master Control, this is Scott McCloud.
Roger, this is Master Control. Over.
Please give me orbital data for gravity reading 179er 4.2.
Roger, stand by. McCloud, activating your orbit through the remote. Transfer control when ready.
Taurus, take over.
Transferring on 0, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Well, let's get ready to take the plunge.
Orbit attained. Switching controls back to us.
Roger, space control out.
That's a beautiful sight.
Beautiful and deadly. Somewhere in there are those two missing patrol ships.
Don't count on ever finding them, Scott. If they got dragged in there, the impact and subsequent pressure would have crushed them like eggshells.
Taurus, you better get the bathysphere ready for launch.
Right you are, Skipper. Crystal, be sure to keep the recorder going while we're down there. We want to have a permanent record of everything we find.
You mean I'm going to sit here while you three have all the fun?
Somebody's got to watch the store. Ready on this end, Chris.
Activating release. She's all yours.
Pressure equal to 4,000, increasing fast.
This thing will take pressure up to the equivalent of 20,000 feet below ocean surface by Earth standards.
There is no perceptible motion in the water. No sign of life. There should be a... Hey, Professor, look. I expected that.
And there's some of that seaweed that Taurus found on the patrol ship.
There will be more. Let's go lower. Pressure approaching 7,000.
Keep her going slow.
Be prepared. There may be some currents down there.
Keep it at minimum speed, Taurus. What happened to our spotlights?
They are on full, Skipper.
Check the circuit breakers. Still nothing.
I don't understand. Everything reads go. We may have picked up some seaweed. I'll rock us up and down. Maybe we'll lose it.
Scott, this is Chris. Do you read me? Scott, do you read? This is Crystal.
Chris, we hear you, but your transmission is breaking up.
Scott. Scott, come in. Scott, come in, please. Scott, come in, please.
Chris, do you read? Chris.
Pressure reading is jumping from 11,000 to 0 and back. I don't understand.
How's the power supply?
Reading full power.
Something must be interfering with the sensing instruments on the outside.
Scott, look. Tentacles from a giant octopus.
He may have been attracted by our lights and covered them with his body.
Oh, over here now. Another one, and
Oh, no.
those tentacles must be over 100 feet long. You think he snapped the antenna?
Probably.
The pressure meter is jumping between 0 and 18,000.
Professor Mace, look out!
No, a sudden cutoff of radio contact. But I'm tracking them on sonar.
Then you know their position?
Affirmative. They're approaching the center of Aqua 1.
Keep us informed. I'll stand by.
Roger, I'll try to.
Look at the size. What kind of muscles do those things have? Could they crush us?
These walls are a 2-inch steel plate. And it's hard to say. It's possible.
Hey, what's happening?
We're being pulled off course. Looks like what's left of the 2 patrol ships.
At least he got off our lights.
There's a whole nest of those beasts all over them. Those boys never had a chance. I'm afraid so. The ships must have split wide open on impact.
He's dragging us into that nest.
What a mess! I'd feel better if we could get through to Chris. I'm glad she doesn't know what we've got into here.
Still no contact?
Not a sound. But they've reached the center. They've stopped moving.
We have a rescue force standing by, just in case.
Maybe he'll let go now.
Skipper, we're going to have to break loose before they all pounce on us.
Their combined power would be tremendous.
They'll break this tub wide open.
If we only had some way to shoot at them.
We still have a full store of exploration flares. You're a genius, Professor.
Right. If we let go of a whole set at once, one of them is bound to hit home.
Here we go, boys. Let's give them the hot foot.
Quick, jump ballast and let's get out before they come back.
Ballast going. Skipper, we keep sinking. Something is haywire. We must have passed through the center.
That would mean that we'll come out on the other side.
All right, Scott. We've traveled right through the sphere. Pressure at 17,000 going down.
How's the radio? Try to get Crystal and tell her what's happening.
Negative. Still no radio contact, but sonar shows them moving through the center and toward the far side.
Can you adjust your orbit for a rendezvous at the anticipated spot of emergence?
Affirmative. Changing orbit by 14.3 degrees. Stand by.
Sorry, Skipper. Those miserable beasts must have snapped the antenna.
Hang on. Gravity is reversed. We're going to turn.
Boys, am I glad to see you. Oops. Morse code. Radio out. Do you read?
Skipper, the lass is reading us okay.
Prepare for pickup at 09er.
Every time we think we know everything, something new gets discovered. I'll now turn the meeting over to Scott McCloud.
Gentlemen, we have called this meeting to announce the existence of a fluid sphere in space, which we have tentatively called Aqua 1. This sphere...
Tune in next time for another exciting adventure with Scott McCloud, Space Angel.